What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Tiberious back again with another review. Today we are taking a look at this Vortex Gen 3 1:10 by 24 First Focal Plane Low Power Variable Optic. This is on loan from my friend Jacob, aka Beyond the Berm. He originally lent us his CZ SP01, which is greatly appreciated. Now he let us use, not only borrow, he also let me take to the tactical games, and I shot this optic at the tactical games, which was very, very nice of him. Overall, Vortex really knocked it out of the park with this optic. They did a really, really good job kind of blending the close-up advantages of a red dot with the magnification and the ability to reach out a little further and touch someone. They knocked out that balance in this particular optic. Now this 1:10 optic from Vortex is the exact same length and the same weight as their previous 1:6 model. So they added 4 times magnification here, but didn't make it any longer or any heavier. They did grow the tube size, which they had to do for the additional magnification, but it's not any bigger and it's not any heavier, which is fantastic. The eye relief is very, very good for a low power variable optic. Don't expect any low power variable optic to be as good as a red dot, but this one is about 3.5 inches, and I find it very, very forgiving and very, very easy to either find that dot or to pick up the reticle depending on what magnification you're at. I did my best to show this here on film. It's very, very hard to record, but I did my best. Now even the one-time magnification does seem like a true one-time. When you look through the optic, you don't see any really magnification. A lot of optics will say they're one-times, but they're a 0.9 or they're a 1.2 or something like that. With this one, it does seem to be a true one by when I look through it. I think the combination of the good eye relief, the very good field of view, the super, super clear glass makes this one of, if not the best, do-it-all type of optics. Obviously there's optics that have more magnification that are better for reaching out. There's red dots that are better for close up, but from an all-around type of optic, this is the best do-it-all type of optic that I have ever used. In the back here you do have a diopter. You can adjust that back and forth to customize the reticle to make it as clear as possible for your eyes. The magnification ring is I'm going to say it's perfect. The previous generation was a lot harder to twist it back and forth to adjust. I've seen other optics where they're too easy and they get bumped. This one is absolutely perfect. Not too easy, not too hard. Like I said, I used this at the tactical games about 2 weeks ago now, and all of the running and jumping and carrying sleds and slinging this on and off my back and climbing up mountains, the magnification ring never adjusted on its own until I was ready to do so. It does come with a speed lever, throw lever, whatever you want to call it. Obviously it's not on here, but that is something that it comes with. Moving on to the tube size, like I mentioned earlier, they did grow the size of the tube to be able to get that extra magnification. The previous generation was a 30mm tube. This is a 34mm tube. Not a big deal at all because there's plenty of mounts for 34mm tubes. Plenty, plenty, plenty. This particular one is from Badger Ordnance, and I must say that unique color of the Vortex razor with this FDE on this Badger Ordnance mount. This would be the absolute perfect optic on a Scar Heavy. You have the ability of the 308 round to reach out a little further, the extra magnification to reach out a little further, and then just from an aesthetics point of view, that thing has 50 shades of FDE. This could be 51 and 52. So both the windage and elevation turrets are low profile. They are capped, obviously, so I'm going to take both these caps off. And they are so low profile that when you're looking through this optic on a rifle, you cannot see either the windage and elevation adjustments or even the illumination. They're small enough where you can't see them. Each click is going to be a 1/4 MOA adjustment, and while it's not super audible, it is very, very tactile. So every time you spin it, you really, really feel that click, and there's no question how many clicks you're adjusting. So I don't think you can hear it. I could. I don't know if the microphone will pick it up. It is super tactile and slightly audible, we'll call it. On the other side is the Illumination Dial. And I love what Vortex did with the illumination dial. So there's 11 brightness settings. Yes, it goes all the way up to 11. But in between each setting, there is an off position. So you go 1 brightness off, second brightness setting off, all the way around to 11. And the reason I like that, say I have it on 8, and I'm using it more as a red dot, shooting up close, couple up close targets, and then I need to transition to a further target. I don't need to spin it all the way through the 11 settings to get to the off setting. I just scroll up or down 1 to the off position, and now the red dot illumination part is off. You can adjust your magnification wherever you need to, take advantage of the reticle, and get your shots on target. Now the illumination dial you do pull out, spin it up or down to turn it on or off, and then push it back in to lock it in place. So I love what Vortex did with this illumination dial and how there's an offsetting in between. Nicely done. Again, one of those things where, why didn't I think of that? The battery it takes is a very standard CR2032 battery. So these 1 to 10 Vortex razors do come in 2 different reticles. You can either get an MRAD reticle, which with this one here is the MRAD, or you can get the MOA. They are both the EBR-9. At the bottom of the reticle, you see there is a Christmas tree style holdovers for 5, 10, 15, and 20 mile-an-hour winds. The Christmas tree also has 50-yard holdovers for distance going vertically there. The smaller hash marks are for 1/2 mil adjustments, and then on top the larger, thicker 1 mil hash marks in case you guys need to engage some moving targets. The 3 posts you see here at 3, 6, and 9 o'clock really helped to draw my eye in, especially when you're using this closer up as a red dot. You know, when you zoom in on the magnification, those kind of disappear. You don't really see them, but close up, those 3 hash marks I found very helpful. On the top, finally, on the top of the reticle here, you'll see there is a ranging feature to range silhouettes out to 600 yards. While I am definitely not a sniper or a very experienced distance shooter, I was easily getting hits at 300 yards, which is the longest range that we have here in Rhode Island. I would love to be able to stretch it out a little further, but I don't have that option. I think with the right cartridge, and more importantly, the right shooter with the right set of skills, this is a 1,000-yard optic all day if you know what you're doing. As far as pros, there's a lot of pros, a lot of things I like about this optic. The best one is they kind of took the advantages of a red dot and the advantages of a low power variable optic and kind of molded them into one. While the eye relief is not as good as a red dot, it is still extremely good for a low power variable optic. When you have the magnification all the way out and that dot is on, it really looks extremely similar to a red dot. And the brightness is excellent. People always ask, is it true sunlight bright? 100%. I couldn't turn it up to 11. It was just too much for me. It was too bright. I was rocking it 8-ish most of the time. When I used it at the tactical games, both days were very sunny, and I was typically right around 8. The field of view is excellent. The glass is extremely clear, looks great. The adjustments are good. There's a lot of things I like about this optic. As far as cons, I really only have one. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say in the comments, they're so expensive, that's a con. I don't think that's a con. You get what you pay for. There's really no other optic that does all the things that this optic does. Not as well, at least. I know there's been plenty of 1 to 10s. There's some good 1 to 8s and good 1 to 6s. But I think with the great eye relief, the ability to go to 1 to 10, the red dot for close-up engagement, the brightness of that dot, no one has done those things as well. So for the $2,000 price range that you're going to see these, street price is what you see these for right now, and again, that will change over time. That's not a con because people are buying these things like crazy, and there's nothing like it that I know of that I've seen. The only con I have, true con, is going to be the color. I know Vortex does these eggplant color optics for their Razor series. I get it, it's their marketing, it's their thing, but I wish they also offered them in black and this eggplant kind of color. Enough said. You know, again, this would look cool on a Scar, but when you have an all black rifle, an all black mount, and this eggplant optic on top, it looks kind of strange to me. I know some people care about the fashion side, some don't. I clearly do. Anyway, as far as uses, this thing has so many different uses. Obviously, going to the range and plinking at the range, no problem. This would also make a great duty optic, especially if someone lives in a more rural area, or if someone's on a sniper team or something like that, where they may be taking closer shots or they may be reaching out a little further. No doubt, this would be a good optic for them, especially with Vortex's durability and lifetime warranty. That does not hurt. Home defense, property defense, absolutely would be a perfect option. Again, especially if you live in a rural area where you need to reach out a little further. More than anything else, competitions. Maybe not more than anything else, but definitely competitions. This is a great option for a competition shooter, especially if the type of competitions you're in, again, sometimes have you shoot out a little further. You can dial that magnification from 1 all the way up to 10 and easily get hits out at much further distance than a red dot with a magnifier or a 1:6 or anything like that. So overall, I'm going to give this an A+. I like it so much. If you said to me, out of everything you've reviewed in the past, I've been doing this for about 10 months now, what are your 2 favorite things? If we could give you anything that you reviewed, what would it be? Number 1 would be the Staccato P. I've reviewed a lot of nice pistols that I really love. By far, the Staccato P was my absolute favorite thing that I have reviewed. Second is going to be this optic. Out of everything I've reviewed, and we're approaching like 100 videos now, Staccato P was my favorite. This Vortex Razor was my second. So that could tell you, what I think about this optic overall. One more time though, let me thank my man Jacob, aka Beyond the Berm, aka Barrel Boy. Again, nice enough to not only let me borrow this optic, but let me run it at the tactical games, which is very adventurous for him because those games are rough and everything you bring to those games takes an absolute beating. So thank you very, very much, Jacob. And thank you guys for watching. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. If you want to support the channel, there is many, many different ways to do so. Just a quick like or comment really, really helps us out in the algorithm department with YouTube. If you want to see what reviews are coming next, go ahead and click that subscribe button. This way you get notified when I come out with new videos. If you want to know what those reviews are in real time, what I am working on right now, consider following me on Instagram and on Facebook. Links below are down in the description if you want to follow me on either of those 2 platforms. We do have 2 channel sponsors as well. M2 Tactical Solutions if you're looking to get yourself some nice kydex. Howling Beard Company if you want to make that beard nice and soft and sexy like mine. Check out Howling Beard Company. Both discount codes are Tiberious in caps and both will save you 10%. One more time, thank you guys for watching and I will see you next time. Peace.